All right, let's recap last week's bold predictions. Gotta say, I think Pete came up with them and then we graded them. You did really well, Pete, relative to like bold predictions. We start with the Browns and the Texans, where you said Joe Flacco would go off. Bold prediction, Browns, Texans.
What's the bold? I mean, it has to be bold or just
any bold prediction.
Joe Flacco throws for 340 and 3.
Shout out to producer Harry with the excellent graphical time machine work. Not a great job there. Flacco did throw for 307, 1 touchdown and 2 interceptions. Both of those interceptions were for touchdowns, so he did throw 3 touchdowns, Pete.
I think it counts.
He flaccoed, by the way. That's what I call flaccoing.
Back-to-back pick sixes.
And they weren't. And by the way, the first one, I don't know what the hell he was doing on that one. The second one was just a bad read. But why? It's okay to punt in that situation, by the way. Down, what was it, 31-14? You're only down 17 in the third quarter. You could have punted there.
Joe Flacco doesn't punt, Pete.
Was there somebody who went for it on instead of kicking when they were down 18 or 17 this weekend? I feel like there was some questionable coaching, a little bit of questionable coaching this weekend, mostly by Sean McVay.
Why do you keep throwing McVay under the bus? He made one bad call.
What do you the end of the half for McVay?
No, he shouldn't have punted. He shouldn't have punted on 4th and 14.
On the 4th and 14, late. If you have your timeouts,
they had one timeout.
If you have your timeouts or a timeout in the 2-minute warning, that's fine.
Well, he had a timeout in the 2-minute warning.
He had one timeout.
And the 2-minute warning.
Yeah, you need more. Yeah, I guess 2 timeouts in the 2. You need to have a chance to stop them 3 times to get the ball back. Also, like
they could have stopped him if they don't let him complete the pass to St. Brown. They would have got the ball
that's
back.
True. I mean, look, you got it. Would you give it back to? Also, when you give it back to Dan Campbell, you can't be expecting them to run the ball a couple times.
No,
but nevertheless,
I didn't like the end of the half for McVay either.
Yeah, didn't either. Dolphins and Chiefs. You had a boldish prediction, but it worked out. What's your bold prediction for this game?
That we'll hear about the weather 1,342 times during that game.
Unfortunately, it will be less because the game is only on Peacock. Peacock actually killed it. Shout out to Peacock.
I was going to say, Brinton, your bold prediction of it being less because it's only on Peacock ended up being wrong.
Yeah. Insane. It was Peacock was the #1 app in the App Store on like not sports, all apps, which is pretty good. It shows the future. I would expect we'll probably see one on. I try to tell people that Chiefs and Bills is only on Paramount Plus. They didn't like that. But yeah, you were right about the weather. That's all anybody talks about, Pete. I
mean, and you know what? If as it related to the Buffalo-Pittsburgh game, that was all they were going to talk about, and instead they moved it. So, they still talked about it.
And I'm going to give Pete a little props here because when we recorded that show last Tuesday, the projected kickoff temperature at that point was 6 degrees, which is noteworthy, but not something people are going to talk about forever. By the time we got to Saturday, kickoff temperature was -4, fourth coldest game in NFL history. Patrick Mahomes' helmet shatters. Now everyone's talking about Andy Reid's mustache growing icicles. So the weather just was.
Breach wrote a story about Andy Reid's mustache.
So I should put a green screen behind me. We have a front coming in off the coast here, and I think I have my future as a weatherman.
You kept up the accurate. You were more accurate than a weatherman with your Packers and Cowboys prediction. Pete, what's a bold prediction for Packers and Cowboys?
The 2 quarterbacks combined to throw for 650 yards.
Ooh,
wow! How many?
650.
That's a lot. I know. It was 675. That is insane. What a game for those 2 quarterbacks. Dak was not great in the game, but he ended up having the volume to get there.
He had a lot of garbage time.
Yeah. Jordan Love was tremendous in that game. I mean, it's wild to think that Mike McCarthy coach, would he come in with Rodgers or he coached Favre 1 year, right?
Yeah. So
I'm saying, like, the coach of the Cowboys, this is how long the Packers have had good quarterbacking. It's insane.
Amazing. It's amazing. And nobody, I mean, as much as I like Jordan Love this year before the season, nobody saw this coming.
Did Adam Shine see it coming?
No, he blistered the kid.
I told him you tracked him on HQ.
And you know what's crazy? If you woke up on Monday morning and just looked at the box score and saw that Dak Prescott threw for 403 yards and threw 3 touchdown passes, you would be thinking, how many did the Cowboys win by? And instead,
well,
they got
the two picks. I mean, come on, you can't do that.
Yeah,
I mean, it was terrible.
That's playoff Dak for you. Playoff Dak.
You weren't perfect though, Pete. Rams, Lions, just a bit outside. Everything at stake here, Pete. What's your bold prediction for Rams at Lions?
Track meet. So I'm going to go same way, up and down. They're going to go up and down. You're going to go for each team will score 30.
Okay, 60 points would be a lot. That would hit the over for sure. This game actually went under.
It looked like it was going over at halftime. I don't know what the hell happened in the second half. That thing slowed down in the worst way.
If you had that over at halftime, you're thinking this is cashing easily.
You think you're in.
Yeah.
Sean McVay crushing Prisco's bold prediction by going 0 for 3 in the red zone and settling for 3 field goals inside 30 yards.
It was all the red zone. They had the Lions scored in the red zone and they didn't.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like if the Rams score in the red zone, it forces the Lions to throw the ball a lot more. And that's how you get to the 60+ points. Like that game could have easily gone over. I think if it had gone over, the Rams would have won too, which means they would have been scored. It was an awesome game. Like I'm pumped for Jared Goff. I'm pumped for the Lions. You know, my Matthew Stafford love, but I'm still, I think great game. I mean, his hand got wrecked. He still played awesome. And Goff was
he's tough as plus he got blasted on that play. And I mean, when that probably should have been a personal foul. It didn't get called.
Yeah.
He got blasted on that play, too.
You know what's surprising? As we move to Steelers-Bills, Josh Allen gets a lot of personal fouls, which is, I'm not like saying it in a bad way, just like I think he's good about making sure that he gets the credit for it. Cam Newton never got him, you know? Like somebody that big oftentimes can get overlooked, and Josh Allen certainly seems to get them. Mason Rudolph actually blew up your bold prediction. What's your bold prediction?
How many starts in a row is this for Mason Rudolph now?
This is 4th.
He will be 9 of 27 for 112 yards and 2 picks.
That is highly specific. God. 9 of 27 for 112 yards and 2 picks.
Yep.
He went 22 of 39 for 229, 2 touchdowns and a pick.
Yeah, and a lot of that came late after they got down big. Otherwise, I think that – what was he at halftime?
I'll have to look it up, but they definitely showed something, a stat where he was like kind of close to whatever number you had on there. Like at some point late. Yeah.
And like if you look at his halftime stats, I think there was an end zone pick. So that was involved in that.
8 of 16 at halftime for 102 yards.
Yeah. So he was in that.
One interception.
Yeah. Hey, look, that wasn't that far off. He just got some stuff late.
I was looking to see if we had he went 5 of 8 in the third quarter. And then in the fourth quarter, Mason Rudolph went 9 of 15 for 68 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah.
So the meat of his performance came on in that fourth quarter in some bit of a garbage time. All right. Finally, Eagles, Buccaneers. The weatherman is back. What's a bold prediction here?
Baker Mayfield outplays Jaylen Herz.
That's a good one. Wow, and nobody's questioned that. Baker was awesome.
Jaylen Herz great.
Jaylen Herz is bad. Baker's playing. You think Baker can win a Super Bowl?
Yeah. I think that team's dangerous. I think with Todd Bowles and the defense growing up and so many different looks that the only concern is the offensive line is a little suspect in pass protection at times, which we saw last night even. And you saw it a couple of weeks ago against the Saints. Remember, the Saints brutalized them there. So that's the concern.
I thought that was your best prediction, Pete. I thought because this was not even close to. This wasn't Baker threw for 300 and Hurts threw for 290, but also rushed for 2 touchdowns. This was Baker Mayfield annihilating Jalen Hurts in the Eagles defense.
The Eagles were terrible.
They didn't tackle anybody. They still haven't. They allowed age to creep in on defense in a lot of spots, particularly cornerback. The secondary is a disaster. They didn't rush the passer. Where was Jalen Carter? Where has he been the last 6 weeks? I mean,
he probably should not win Defensive Rookie of the Year.
No, he should not.
Matt Patricia kind of like made him invisible.
Well, then also the linebackers can't cover anybody. It's not a good defense.
No, it's really not.